Yes, so hello everybody. So today we'll start a new lesson. It's Unit 10. And of course, this is our last lesson in the program. But in the program, we will have other lessons, of course, to revise the lessons that we have seen. So today's lesson is about writing a biography. So writing a biography about someone famous, right? شخص مشهور بحال واحد السيرة صغيرة, simple biography, not whole biography but certain simple biography. Now let's move on to talk about what is a biography. Alright, so what is biography? So yes, so the purpose of a biography is to inform and inspire the reader. Normally this is, we inspire the reader of what? Of an exceptional person's life, their achievements, experiences and awards they got throughout their life. انك غتكتب واحد biography علاش؟ باش انك تعلم شخص ما right بحياة شخص مشهور, الانجازات ديالو, achievements, تجارب, الجوائز اللي حصل عليها عبر الحياة ديالو. Right. Now I would like you to guess certain famous people. Look at the first picture. Alright. And what do you see? Tell me, do you know this person? Of course, this famous person is a comedian. Yes. And the name is Charlie Chaplin. All you know it. Next. Yes. Do you know this gentleman? Yes, he was a former president of an African country. Yes, which country? Yes, South Africa. His name is, yes, Nelson Mandela. Last picture. Do you know the person? In idea? Yes, in the word of IT. Yes, his name is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, iPhone, iPod and so on, right? Now, things to consider when writing a biography. When we write a biography. So let's start with the first elements. Yes. First, their personal early life. It means growing up. حياة الطفولة, right? Yes, here of course their childhood again. Next we have their adulthood. It means when they are adults, right? حياة كبر. Next, where they are from. It means you will mention the town, the city. For example, he was born in Casablanca or Paris. Next, 5, what they did that was remarkable. الأشياء اللي قاموا بها كانت شي حاجة اللي خارقة للعادة. Alright. Next, we have why people love this famous person. You will specify the reasons why people love this famous person. For example, like Charlie Chaplin. Why people love him? Because he was hilarious, he's comic, he is humorous, he doesn't speak, he makes us laugh without even talking. Alright, this is his style. The same with Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean doesn't talk, he uses his mimics and his body, of course his tricks, to make us laugh. And the last thing, their later life. It means their last days in their life before death. Because like for example we say Charlie Chaplin, he died. Alright. But Mr. Bean, he is still alive. Of course, when we talk about someone dead, we use simple past. But when we talk about someone alive, we use simple present. For example, when we say Mr. Bean is, is like a British comedian. But when we say like Charlie Chaplin, was, we say was a British comedian. You see the difference. Now let's move on to the outline, right? هذا خصنا الفورمات كيفاش how many paragraphs should we have in what? In our biography. It means 3 paragraphs. So let's see the first paragraph, right? So the first paragraph, number 1, you will introduce the famous person and why you think this person should be what? Should be remembered. نروح تقديم بسيط للشخص وعلاش الناس خص يذكروه. Like for example, Nelson Mandela was one of the pioneers or the icons of human rights and civil rights. And he fought against racism. He is a symbol of what? Of resistance and peaceful resistance. All right. So here in paragraph number 1, of course, you will introduce the famous person and why you think this person should be remembered. Next, number 2, paragraph number 2, here you will what? You will mention the person's details about his or her childhood, of course, add here childhood, his or her studies, jobs he, she held, الوظائف اللي تقلدها, and achievements, awards he, she got, جوائز والإنجازات اللي حصل عليها, right? So here you will mention what? The person's life. And the last paragraph, right? So here you can what? You can mention what makes this person remarkable and why people love him. Like for example, you say, finally, I think this person is lovable or one of a kind because, like for example, we say Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, he was one of the best comedians in all of the world because he inspired all comedians and he made us what? He made us laugh without what? With his tricks, with his for example walk, right? So this is, of course, this is the outline. So how many paragraphs? 1, 2, 3. Introduction, body, conclusion, right? This is an example of a biography. This is how your biography looks like, all right? So here this person, I think you know it. So I told you he is Steve Jobs, all right? So yes, so this paragraph, it is what? Yes, it is introduction. So let us read together. So Stephen Paul Jobs was what? An American inventor, designer, and entrepreneur who was the co-founder, chief executive, and chairman of Apple Computer. It means he was the founder of Apple Computer. Apple's revolutionary products, which include the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, are now seen as dictating the evolution of modern technology. You see, simple introduction, all right? Next, body. Of course, it's very concise and simple. Born in 1955, all right? You see, here we mention when he was born. He was born in 1955 to what? To 2 University of Wisconsin graduate students who gave him up for adoption. It means here we talk about his parents. His parents gave him up for adoption. أنهم أعطوه بالتبني. So Job was what? Was smart but directionless. It means he doesn't have directions. Dropping out of college. You know by dropping out of college, it means leaving college. And college here, it doesn't mean middle school. It means university. Right? and experimenting with different pursuits before co-founding. You see here, this is a prefix. Founding, we have co-founding. It means together. He co-founded Apple with Steve Wozniak, all right, in 1976. You see, when he was one of the co-founders of Apple, the company Apple now, all right. Jobs left the company in 1985, launching Pixar and animation studios, then returned to Apple more than a decade later. And when we say decade later, it means 10 years. Jobs died, you see here, died in 2011, following what? Long battle with pancreatic cancer. You know, pancreas. كان عنده سرطان pancreas. You see, and here, of course, you mention when we finish it with the death of the person, when he died, and the reason of his death. Then the last paragraph, it is what? Of course, it's the conclusion. To sum up or to conclude, Steve Jobs will always be remembered. Why? Because he changed the word of IT. What do you mean by IT? Any idea? Yes, it means information technology. راهي l'informatique. ما نقولوش l'informatique. We say IT or information technology, and inspired people to be what? To be innovative and creative in the world of technology. Remember the first iPhone he invented. Then after that, the booming of tactile mobile phones, and of course with the iPod, of course, for music. Now you should do what? Now you will write what? You will write a biography about. You will write a short biography about Charlie Chaplin, describing his life and achievement, following the example of or the model of Steve Jobs. It means you should have 3 paragraphs, right? Then this is how you should start. Charlie Chaplin was, for example, British actor, comedian, scriptwriter, and here you will introduce Charlie Chaplin, all right? Then second paragraph, born in, and of course try to use linking words. Moreover, he worked as, also he acted in, besides, furthermore, and finally Charlie Chaplin was the best comedian. Because why he was the best comedian? He mentioned why people love him. He was an inspiration to all comedians throughout the world. All right. Then you finish your biography. And thank you for your time and cooperation. Of course, as usual, you will write the steps that I mentioned here in the lesson. Of course, the outline and the things to consider. You will write it in part writing, and you will write what? You will write a biography, part exercise, and you will send it to me in my number, right? And of course, this is not the last lesson. We will have other lessons to revise. يلا, goodbye. في رعاية الله.